Hey.
Hello.
Hey.
Hello. Hi, guys. Welcome to this week's episode. I'm Carrie, and clearly confused as to what the fuck is happening right now.
Per usual. And I'm Laura, laughing at Carrie as usual. Per usual.
Per usual. That's the title of this episode, per usual. We are recording the day after Thanksgiving, so this episode comes out tomorrow. And, yeah, how was your Thanksgiving, Laura?
Groovy.
Yeah?
Yeah, how was yours?
It was good. Ate too much food. You know, Thanksgiving.
Yeah. I didn't make anything, but I went to my dad's and ate his food, and I ate too much of his food.
Yeah.
Nice.
Well, that's good. Did you talk to Zane? How was his Thanksgiving?
It was good. He's not big on the phone. Most 8-year-old boys, not so much.
Yeah, no, quite never was. Still isn't, actually, so, yeah.
Yeah. So he's coming home in a couple hours, so.
Yay! Well, that's good. When are you putting up your tree?
Probably this weekend, I imagine, because I know he's going to be all over it.
Right. Thanksgiving is over. It's time to put up Christmas. Which I've already started, as you well know. But...
yeah, I started to, decorating a little bit inside.
Yeah.
I mean, the cat needs stuff to fucking knock down, or else he would be lost.
I mean...
he can't... he needs somewhere to direct his cat anger, or whatever it is.
His extreme playfulness. Yeah. He's still a baby.
Let's chew on those.
Right? Because the candle situation didn't teach him any lessons.
Did not work out well.
Do you want to tell everybody what happened to your... poor little kitty? Lost one of his lives.
For sure. And give me a fucking panic attack. So
Laura lost one of hers too.
I lit some candles on my desk. I was working, and he comes in and out, and I know he had seen them, so I kind of figured he's not going to go near them. I'm working away. I don't notice that he's up on my desk. He sticks his fucking tail right onto the candle. I smell the burning before I even see anything. Look up. Kitty tail on fire.
Did he react at all? Like, did he...
Once I grabbed him, he did, but I don't think he even felt it. It was just like burning.
Just the hair. Oh my god.
Yeah. Smelled terrible. He finally, I don't think he stinks anymore, but I mean, to get the smell in my office, fucking terrible. Ugh. And then I really wanted to light candles, but I couldn't.
Right? And then he avoided the office for a few hours.
Yeah, for sure. Oh yeah, he wouldn't come back in. Like, it was my fucking fault.
How dare you?
Right? Why are you lighting me on fire, bitch?
Right? Thank God you don't have candles on the mantle, though, especially if he's, like, jumping up and trying to get up there.
Well, I have some that I bought for the mantle, but now I'm clearly not putting them up until, like...
Right. Until, like...
or something. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Poor kitty. Anyway.
Yeah, let's not kill the kitty.
Yeah.
Kittens learn slow.
And so, I mean, I kind of feel like all animals...
He's not the brightest.
He's a baby yet, though. Would you say he's only 5 months old?
Yeah. Yeah, he's totally a baby. He's a big baby, but he's
right.
A baby.
Bless the little baby's heart.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, that's been Laura's adventurous week. Let's see here. EVPs, guys. As always, we just have the one. And basically what that is that the hoodie sale, by the time you listen to this, is over. The hoodie pre-sale ended yesterday, Black Friday, so we hope you got your hoodies. If you didn't, well, sorry. We may be doing a sweatpants pre-sale in January, because now people have seen pictures of us in History of a Haunting sweats. They're like a dark gray. With orange or like a gold yellow History of a Haunting down the leg. So people are now wanting that. So maybe in January we'll do a pre-sale for that. But the hoodies are done. They are finito. So hope you got one. And if you didn't, maybe next year. We'll see. That's all I have for EVPs. Miss, do you have anything?
No, not that I can think of.
No. Just watch your cat's tail around fire.
Yes, watch the kittens.
Free PSA from Laura to you. All right, well, Laura, why don't you, we've got another international location. Let's tell folks where we're taking them.
We are taking you to someplace I'm going to massacre, Borgvattnet Vicarage in Sweden.
What is it?
Sweden.
Oh, that you say right.
Sweden. Borgvattnet Vicarage, Sweden.
Sweden. Okay. All right.
Sweden.
Great. This will be a quick episode, guys. There's not a whole lot in the history and the hauntings, and my chair keeps dropping little by little as I'm sitting in it. So I just keep. Hopefully, it won't happen when I'm on camera. Yeah.
Yeah. That's good.
What are your sources?
My sources are theghosthuntuk.com, voguescandinavia.com, and borgvattnet.eu.
Yes.
Which Google was kind enough to translate for me.
I could never figure out how to get it to do that, so I just look. I'm lower now because I keep dropping.
I'm just gonna sit up really straight. So
screw you. I'll just do this.
Crazy tall.
There.
That's not gonna last.
I'm just gonna keep.
Keep shrinking. It's cool.
I
like
get
this.
Okay.
That'd be all.
All right. Tell your story, lady.
All right. So the Borgvattnet is a tiny village of just 50 residents. It is home to what has been called Sweden's most haunted house since 1947. Not only that, the small town has also been awarded the accolade of having the highest number of ghosts per capita in Sweden. A fact that you might not find in the encyclopedia.
What is... So there's what, like 30 people in the town, or...
Yeah, like 50, yeah. So
cool. Okay, great.
Right.
Quaint.
A little bit funny. Yeah. So the vicarage of Borgvattnet dates back to 1876. A vicarage, in case you don't know, is just a house where the priests that work at the local parish or church, because this isn't Catholic, but that's where they live. So,
gotcha.
And this one is pretty standard. It's a modest home with 2 floors. There you go. There are 5 bedrooms, a dining room, and a couple sitting areas and working areas. So, if you can see the picture on YouTube or you checked it on our social media, you can see it's not a giant house. It's very modest.
It's very unassuming, right? Like it doesn't.
Yeah,
it's very simple, very what you would imagine a vicarage for holy men
Sweden to be
to live. Yeah. I mean, it's not the Vatican,
right? No. I think the Catholics got the corner. They got the market on the opulence. I mean, between the outfits and the marble, they kind of got it going on.
And that big giant painting on the ceiling. I keep shrinking.
And honestly, that's nothing compared to the rest of the Vatican, which is saying something. I mean, it's gorgeous, but that's just a small chapel. There's the whole Vatican Museum and the rest of the city.
Well, yeah, true. Plus then everything underground, and although that's probably not covered in marble. Is it?
It is.
Oh, it is.
Where the popes were buried?
Yeah.
You're talking about underneath?
Yeah.
So I don't know how much access they give people to that anymore. I know for a while after 2011 it was kind of closed off.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's where they have a lot of the popes interred in it. Yeah, there's lots of marble down there.
Oh, shit.
They have them in the marble interments.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, and it's under the basilica, so.
Wow, yeah, I would love to see it. Absolutely love to see it. Of course, I mean, the Da Vinci Code, or not the Da Vinci Code, Angels and Demons. That was the one I was like, now I've got to go into the bottom of the Vatican. Now I got to check that place out. Thanks, Dan Brown.
It's definitely worth a visit, I would say.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, and I told you that cheat way you have to go through.
Yeah.
So you don't have to go back in line.
Yeah.
So you're welcome. Laura's travel tips.
Right. New podcast
coming with whatever group is going by, no matter if it's Chinese or not. Just blend in. Just walk with them.
Just walk with them. Keep your head down, and they won't be paying any attention to you. Yeah. New podcast coming up. Laura's travel tips.
Right. Exactly. So back to our vicarage. There's nothing really that was too notable that went on until about 1901.
Okay.
When our I guess pastor would probably be a more appropriate, priest, pastor, whatever. Per Headland was his name. And his wife and family, they lived in the vicarage for about 6 years. In 1907, Marta, his wife, died giving birth to their 11th child. God fucking bless her. She was probably just tired.
I mean, her and Mother Leeds, man, from last week's episode. I don't know why we keep doing these episodes where these poor women are having 900 children.
Right.
I know, clearly, I'm bad at math.
I'm sure it felt like 900 children. Her took it hard and buried her in the backyard. So she remained there for several days until the local villagers found out and demanded that she was buried in the cemetery. He finally agreed, and the following day, the Headland family had vanished along with the lifeless body of Marta. So, digging up bodies is never really a good idea.
No. I mean, I would be pissed at my husband. Just leave me there. Who cares what everybody says?
Right? That's where they lived. I mean, that's pretty typical for the time, I'm sure.
Well, for that time, yeah. It was probably far more disrespectful to bury her in a backyard and dig her up. And then, then digging her up and moving her wherever she was moved to.
Yeah, wherever she ended up. Yeah. And then again, in the early 20th century, this is not a good story, a 19-year-old girl, unmarried girl, was raped and became pregnant by a priest.
Cool. That's great.
Yeah, that's always good times. Once she started showing, the priest locked her in an enclosure in the backyard.
Like the fucking chicken coop or what?
Yeah, just as an enclosure. There's kind of varying stories. It was either like a shed type thing in the backyard or one of the rooms.
Okay.
Upstairs.
Okay.
So I've seen both.
Me too.
Either way, she got locked up.
It wasn't great.
Either way, she wasn't free to go about her business. When the baby was born, the baby was murdered and buried also in the backyard. Seems to be a popular place. Yeah. And you're going to talk about a lot of the stuff that has happened in between then and now. But currently the vicarage does serve as a hotel. And it's about 100 kilometers from Ostersund in Jämtland, which means nothing to me.
Jämtland.
But, in case you have references for Sweden, that's where it is. And it offers a summer cafe, guided tours, and overnight stays.
Wow.
So pretty exciting stuff.
There wasn't a whole lot to be found on the history of it, was there?
There wasn't, no.
Yeah.
Just the really great stories that were probably led to the reason that we're covering it to begin with.
Those heartwarming tales. Alrighty. Well, all right. On to the hauntings. See, guys, I told you this was going to be a quickie. So I got my sources from Swedes in the States, the Socians, and littlehouseofhorrors.com, all of which are very appropriate for, at least Little House of Horrors. No. House of Horrors. Jeez. Okay.
Oh, maybe.
I mean, maybe. So, at first glance, this old country house might not look like much to the world. Like we showed you, it's very unassuming. Just looks like a simple little, house. But this house, as Laura had mentioned, does have a dark past that actually pales in comparison to many other places in Sweden. The fragile wooden walls and the creaking floors have, for over 100 years, been the scene of tragic events and paranormal activity. In fact, Borgvattnet Vicarage is considered to be, like Laura mentioned, the most haunted place in Sweden, and it actually frequently makes its way onto the list of some of the most haunted places in the world. So, I love a good most haunted list.
Oh, yeah.
I love a good
I saw that a lot on there.
Yeah.
It's considered to be super haunted.
Super haunted, yeah. So a total of 15 priests would come to live at the vicarage before the last one had finally had enough of the ghostly activities and decided to move out, with no other priest willing to take over. What came to be the final straw is still one of the most famous ghost stories in the house. So, although the first reports of hauntings at the vicarage were made by a priest in 1927, it actually wasn't until the last priest of Borgvattnet, Eric Lindgren, moved to the vicarage in 1945 that it became publicly known to the world as being haunted. So, Oh, great. Now here's that word you just said that I'm going to butcher. So apparently during a meeting held by Jämtland, sorry, Sweden.
I like it. I like it. Jämtland.
There we go.
Like they have lots of jam.
Right?
That's nice.
So people in Sweden are like, there's no freaking jam at all. What is jam? So, but they probably don't call it jam. That sounds so American.
Right, they probably call it Jämtland.
Oh my God. I love a peanut butter and Jämtland sandwich. God, we just lost that whole country.
Right.
They were in our top 10 countries of listeners too. Bye guys, sorry.
Oh shit.
Yeah, sorry. I maybe should have mentioned that before we recorded this. Anyway. So during a meeting held by that location's agricultural society in December of 1947, a journalist from a local newspaper had caught on to the rumors of the haunted vicarage in town and bluntly asked Eric Lindgren about his experiences. So it was safe to say that not only had Eric documented his experiences, but that he was actually willing to go public with them. So according to him, and let's take a look at this guy. This is Eric Lindgren. Maybe. Yeah, I did it. I'm getting better at this.
Yeah.
So that's him. And he's kind of the reason why this place has become so popular and so known for hauntings. So according to him, one of the most haunting experiences he had while living there was when he was suddenly thrown off of his rocking chair one night by an unseen force and ended up on the floor. On his first night, it was on his first night living there, it was as if heavy furniture was being dragged from one side of a room to another in the room upstairs above his head. It surprised him because his furniture didn't actually even arrive at the vicarage yet. So there was no furniture in it, but there was the sound. It was pretty crazy. So when he investigated this room, he saw all the rooms on the floor were empty. So that was when he started to keep a journal of all the strange happenings, which smart guy, frankly, if you ask me. Later, he bought this rocking chair and he placed it at the vicarage. So that night that he had been thrown out of it, he got back in the chair. And when he got back in the chair, he felt some kind of strong force enter his body. No,
thanks.
No, that's no good. According to his notes, he was never able to sit in the chair for too long without being thrown out of it. Presently, the chair is found in the vicarage. The same chair is still there, and it is often found to be rocking on its own.
Ooh.
Yeah. So it was in 1947 that he was talking about the ghost to some fellow vicars at a gathering. This journalist that was there immediately picked up on the conversation and he asked for an interview with Eric, and Eric agreed. And this is how Borgvattnet Vicarage became world famous. Eddie is about the story. He is all about this story.
He is.
All right.
He's mad at me.
Yeah. He's mad at you because you left him outside? Yeah, okay.
He's outside the office.
Yeah. So the newspaper Osterlands Posten, published Eric's interview December 4th, 1947. In this interview, he talked about hearing footsteps, the constantly blown out candles, and the fact that he sometimes even bumped into an unseen person. Which... if that were me, I would constantly be saying, "Oh, sorry, excuse me," because
comes out.
Oops, sorry, my bad. Sorry. I've actually done that. Like I've been going to go out of this office, and my bedroom is like right there, and I'll go to and I'll turn to quick before I've cleared the fucking door frame, and I'll run into it with my shoulder and be like, "Oh, sorry," and then Coyle will be like, "Did you just apologize to the door frame?" I sure did. I did.
Listen, I have manners.
I have manners, right? This is a new house.
Right.
I'm not trying to be rude to my new home. Or I'm just that insane. So, he also told the journalist that he would frequently hear footsteps in the garden that came toward the house via the wooden bridge, which in our pictures you can't see the wooden bridge. Mm-hmm. But when he went to check, there was never anybody out there. Eddie is so mad at you.
So mad.
Yeah. Also, Patreons, we have a brand new bingo card, and Eddie Meowing is the bingo squire.
You're going to get that one a lot.
A lot, yeah. So his interview was quite controversial because in the 40s, the clergymen of any denomination or faith never spoke about ghosts. Especially, like I said, not in 1947. He claimed he always felt uncomfortable in the expedition room, which was generally used as the office space for all the vicars that had lived there. Because he always felt like when he was in there as if somebody was looking over his shoulder, and sometimes he even sensed a person sitting next to him, which made it impossible to work. Eventually, the guy just started getting used to all of the activity in the house. So
maybe I should let him in.
Maybe you should let him in. I'll pause it real quick. Okay, Laura's cat is in and now with us and purring because he's so happy. Hi, we are. Look at him. What a cutie.
Hi, buddy.
Okay, so that pear guy. As you mentioned, Laura, his wife Marta, died in the house during childbirth, and he couldn't face the fact that she had passed away, and he buried her in the backyard. Like you said, the locals found out, and they demanded that he move her to a cemetery. The whole Headland family had disappeared along with her body. What was interesting, though, was that his son, Niels Headland, came back to live at the vicarage after his father had died as one of the vicars.
Yeah, crazy, huh? Crazy.
So the only thing that I didn't find was I found no account of what he said, where the family went, where the mother was buried, what life was like after the dad sort of...
I couldn't find any of that either, but I did see that he came back and he was one of the last vicars, right?
Yeah. Yeah,
very odd kind of tale there.
Very odd tale, yeah. So he said that he had once saw all of his laundry being pulled from the clotheslines in the garden. There was no wind that day. He could clearly see the laundry was being pulled off the clotheslines, and it just was really unnerving for him, and he wasn't actually the last person to be affected by the hauntings. It's not entirely a stretch to suggest that it's possible the burying and digging up of his mother may have played a part in all this. Right. But like I said, I never found out anything if he ever mentioned or explained or...
Crazy.
He is so crazy, and he is purring so loud. He loves this episode.
He really does. He's a big fan of Steven.
He did? Okay, great. And Vickers. Right. And ghosts. He loves the ghosts. So in 1930, Headland's successor experienced something strange as well. Vicar Rudolph Tangden saw a lady dressed in gray at the house. She was walking slowly toward him through the big hall, but decided to take a turn into the expedition room, which is where most of all, like I said, the vicar's office was. When he went to go talk to her and ask her what she was doing inside his house, when he got to the expedition room, there was nobody there. And this was another common occurrence. This gray lady is seen often. The next one, Otto Lindgren and his wife moved into the vicarage in 1936. Look at my tail. Check it. Is it still on fire? Look at that. They said that they never saw an apparition, but they had lots of paranormal...
Maybe letting him in was the worst idea. Oh my god, I'm letting him out now.
Okay.
Oh my god, what's that story about, or that saying about wrangling cats? Yeah. I'm like, you're just not happy anywhere.
Right? I love it. He needs Zane to come home.
Couple hours.
Hang in there, Eddie. Hang in there. So they never... Am I recording? I am, sorry. I'm so confused. There's a lot going on in this episode today. It's the best.
There's so much cat activity.
It's the best. Usually it's my dogs that are creating the ruckus. So this is a refreshing change, yes. So they never saw an apparition, but they had lots of paranormal experiences at the house. They heard footsteps walking through the house. Doors were opening and closing as if somebody was moving from one room to another. When they wanted to welcome the visitor that they... Oh, my. Hi. Sorry, guys. It's on the wrong screen. Good freaking God.
We're doing awesome today.
I mean, professional.
We're still high on turkey.
We are. I am.
We can't be held responsible.
We can't. Sorry. So Mrs. Lindgren had a strange encounter when she thought she heard a visitor in the house walking through room to room, which why is a visitor just poking through your home? But
right.
So she was home alone one day when she heard music coming from the kitchen from behind the closed door. So she opened the kitchen door and the music suddenly stopped. The same thing happened again later when Otto was back at home. Again, they heard music in the kitchen, but when they checked it out, the music would suddenly stop. So there was a diocese secretary that was there, stayed there. Her name was Inga Floden. And she had stayed over at Borgvattnet in 1941 while she was on a business trip. She slept in the guest room and woke up at 3 a.m., which, as we all know, is the witching hour. Mm-hmm. She was feeling like she was being watched. She must have thought she was dreaming because, well, no, she not must have. She did think she was dreaming at first because when she opened her eyes, there were 3 elderly ladies watching her from a couch just opposite her bed, and they were crying. So she kind of blinked and she kind of was like, what is happening? So she turned on the light and they were still there, but she could see right through them. Additionally odd, there was actually no couch in this particular room she was sleeping in. Excuse me. So, like I said, she had plenty of time to really get a good look at them. She said one lady was dressed in black, one lady wore a purple dress, and the third lady was wearing gray. All 3 of them looked kind of sad, especially the lady in gray. They were weeping. 2 of them had their hands in their laps, like folded in their laps, and the third one was knitting. Yeah, she really got a good look at him. At some point, she must have dozed off again. The next day,
How the fuck did she fall back asleep?
Well, it's just...
That's the fucking question.
She said the next day she didn't speak of it, and later she admitted that she wasn't scared, just surprised. So 3 crying old ladies staring at you while you sleep, super casual.
Dude, that's like the creepiest fucking thing. Like,
crying, nonetheless.
Yeah.
Nonetheless.
I would fucking be out.
Plus, I wonder if she could hear the little clitter clatter of the knitting needles. There's a lot going on here.
Yeah. She's like, what's up? I'm gonna fucking go back to sleep. No.
I've got a long trip tomorrow. I just need to get some Z's, ladies. Sorry, you're upset.
Fuck.
Yeah, no. But also, ghost couch. I love that. That's probably one of my favorite parts of the story. Yeah. And you're like, I have so many questions.
Mostly, like, okay, the ghosts are there, whatever, but how the fuck did that bitch go back to sleep? That I cannot fucking fathom. Like, if I saw some shit like that, I would be out.
Goodbye.
But, yeah, for real. And then I sure as fuck wouldn't be like, cool, nice doily, fucking going back to bed.
Right. That's so pretty. Also, can you tell me where this couch came from?
Right?
Yeah.
Can you leave the couch? That would be a nice addition.
Right? But, you know, what's interesting is that, like, usually it's just, like, a quick blip of time that you see an apparition, right? Like, you always hear stories of, you know, they saw it and then they just kind of, like, blinked to make sure that they were really, they were really seeing what they were seeing, right. And it was gone. They blinked and it was gone. Or they turned on the light and it was gone. Not these ladies. They fucking stayed the course. They held strong.
Old ladies are stubborn as fuck. They're not going anywhere. They're like, we're fucking sad and we're comfy. I'm not moving.
We're not moving. Do what you gotta do.
I got knitting to be done. Fuck you.
I ain't going to damn place.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. Just really just crazy.
That's a pretty weird story.
So the other thing, this vicarage, I'll tell you, other guests of the vicarage have claimed multiple claims of having matches, marbles, and even knives thrown at them from an invisible source.
Knives? That's not cool.
Knives? No. I mean, even a marble, that's not cool.
No,
and also,
hurt.
Are these matches lit? Don't take Eddie.
No.
You can't take your cat. Don't take your cat.
That's too bad because he really likes Sweden.
Right?
Super sad.
Loves Sweden. Well, he can stay at a different place then.
Right.
So now, like you had mentioned, this house, while it looks really small, it's got, you said 5 bedrooms, I think?
Yeah.
So there are 3 bedrooms. There's the yellow room, the blue room, and the pink room, and they all have activity. So the yellow room, which is this
I think I might have
lovely.
been calling the expedition. I think I counted the expedition room. Maybe that was.
Okay, maybe.
But
No. I mean,
because you can stay in it now. Like, so maybe they used it. You know what I mean? Maybe it was used more for like.
It could be
working, and then now they obviously, since it's a hotel, they turned it into a room.
That could be. These are the only 3 rooms that are actually decorated in these colors. So this is the yellow room, and in this room, they are figuring that this is probably the room in which Marta had died. Guests of the bed and breakfast see shadows in this room, and sometimes people feel like somebody is pulling their clothes. Also, various guests have claimed to see a dent on the bedspread as if somebody is sitting on it. So it actually kind of looks like somebody either just got up from laying down on the bed on the right, or something's there right now as we're looking at it.
You got real shitty mattress.
You never know.
Or the mattress is from when Marta lived there.
Oh, dear God. You suppose it's the one she died on? Look at us starting rumors.
Creeps.
We're going to get a message from the bed and breakfast. Yeah, right. Don't sleep on that one. The next one, let's see if I can do this correctly, is the blue room. I think it's beautiful.
Aptly named.
Aptly named. I think it's beautiful. I love that carpet or that rug. So people who have spent the night here in this room claim to have been woken up by the sound of heavy furniture being moved around. So I'm wondering if this is the room that maybe Eric Lindgren had heard that heavy furniture being moved, even though his furniture hadn't arrived yet. So, excuse me, there's also a ghost here that likes to pull the bed sheets off people in the middle of the night. It may be the cause. There's a small boy whose apparition has been seen in this room. The sound of a baby screaming is also heard here. And a lot of people that spend the night in it report feeling sad and depressed while they're in the room. So that's that cheery thought. This is the pink room. Again, aptly named. So no one really knows how these hauntings began. It is said that the most accepted story is the story of one of the first priests that lived at Borgvattnet had a sexual relationship with the young local girl. As you mentioned, it's actually not clear if it was a consensual relationship or if she was raped. When learning that she was pregnant, he would lock her in an enclosure in the backyard. It's also the same backyard that the girl would bury her child right after killing it. It's not clear whether the young girl made it out alive of the enclosure or if she met the same fate as her child. The baby was buried in the backyard in the north side of the house, just outside the pink room. Both mother and child haunt this room, and sounds of a screaming baby crying and a small shadow figure have been seen here. So now today, in recent times, which is today, this exact day, these are all live stories coming from this vicarage today. It serves as a bed and breakfast, a cafe, as well as a restaurant. Paranormal incidents, however, do continue and frequently occur. Many of the guests that have stayed there have reported instances of strange happenings, including crying noises, knocking sounds, and ghostly reflections in mirrors. Recently, a tall, dark man wearing a hat has been seen at the expedition room. There are strange images in the mirrors. There are rattling and singing radiators. I don't know what the singing is, if it's like a whistling maybe sound or...
yeah, I don't know.
I don't know.
Could be like steam. I don't know if I can...
Maybe. Cold spots are often felt and strange light reflections are often seen and captured in the house. One couple that stayed, and this would be me, Probably you and me. One couple that stayed at the vicarage recounted an incident where the husband was mysteriously grabbed by an unseen force and dragged across the staircase. Scared out of their wits, they spent the rest of the night outside in a tent. He didn't dare step 1 foot back into the vicarage.
Right? There's no way I'd just be like, cool, I'm going back to sleep. Fuck that shit.
That hurt. My butt really hurts, but I need to sleep. Yeah.
Right?
That fucking drug across stairs.
They don't like you.
Right. Also, does the vicarage provide the tent if you get too scared? Or did they have to bring their own tent?
Right.
I have a lot of questions about this, too.
We'll email before we go.
We will. We need to make sure that we're prepared. Yeah. Some guests have also complained of being constantly glared at by an unseen force and being woken up by a cold force, like a hand pressing their forehead and pushing their head down into the beds.
No.
Number 1, don't touch me when I'm sleeping. Number 2, don't have cold hands and touch me. And certainly don't mash my head down into the bed. That's terrifying.
I don't like any of that.
I don't like any of it either. But, for some brave guests who managed to stay the night in the vicarage without any fear, the manager rewards them with a certificate of overnight stay as evidence of their bravery and to prove they survived the haunted forces. So that's what I've got on Borgvattnet Vicarage and the hauntings. I think they're pretty cool. I think, of course, as always, the stories fucking suck. But if you are going to be going to Sweden, they are located at Borgvattnet 760 Stugan Jämtland, Sweden. Sorry, guys.
Good job. I say good job.
Thanks.
We're trying over here.
We're trying. We really are. We're really trying. So yeah, that was that charming little place. I've heard about this place for years. So, had you ever heard about it before?
I've seen it on the list.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God, I love a good most haunted list. I really do. Mm-hmm. I really do.
Fun.
Of all the things you could list that I love, that's one of them for sure. For sure. So anyway, that's it, guys. That's what we have. I have still not been able to find my Strange History book, so we don't have Strange History for you, even though I cleaned my office so thoroughly. Sorry. Maybe next week.
Put it away somewhere safe.
Maybe. I mean, I don't know. I could also read from my Ghost Stories of Pittsburgh book or my Haunted Hollywood book. I don't. I'll find it. It's fine. Laura, why don't you tell everybody where they can find us?
You can find us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, and also at hoahpodcast.com. You can find us on the TikTok at HOAH Podcast, at HOAH Carrie, and at HOAH co-host Laura.
And that, as they say, guys, is all she wrote. So that's all we have. I'm going to go decorate for Christmas. You're going to go get your son and then decorate for Christmas. And we will reconvene probably sometime else this weekend just because we got a lot to record and stuff to do. Because I will be in Phoenix next weekend. We're not recording. Yay! We have our podcast event. Laura and I are hosting a paranormal investigation of the 1910 jail in Globe, Arizona. So we've got some of our top friends and fans going to be joining us there. We have already covered the location in an episode, so we're not going to actually be doing a live recording of it. We will be doing some Facebook Lives and some videos and stuff like that for Patreons and things like that. But yeah, Laura and I have lots to do. I fly out on Thursday and the investigation is Saturday night, so I'm really looking forward to it. I'm excited. Yay. Yeah, and I bought new EVP recorders so that we have plenty of equipment for all of the intrepid investigators. And so that's that on that. Let's go get busy.
It's going to be good times.
It is going to be good times, yes. As always, guys, stay safe out there because you never know who
or what
is listening. Bye. See you next week.
Bye.